This is Ron Jaworski. I want to invite everyone to rediscover the excellence and diversity of my 6 championship golf courses. You know what first attracted me to the game of golf? It's the precision it requires at every level. At Ron Jaworski Golf, everything we do centers around you. It's the small touches that make golf so special. That's what drew me in years ago and forever shapes the way I feel about the game. Come enjoy our amazing signature golf courses or go to ronjaworskigolf.com.
Hut, hut.
Your wedding might look a little different than you first imagined, but that doesn't mean it can't be the most memorable day of your life. At Ron Jaworski Weddings, our 5 award-winning wedding venues are open, and we're meeting with couples daily, both in person by appointment or virtually with tours and video conferences. Voted the best of the knot and Wedding Wire 11 years in a row. See all we can do to make your day special at ronjaworskiweddings.com.
Media Group Station. Home of the Ron Jaworski Show. Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
Plug in.
97.5 The Fanatic. Philadelphia. Week 11 in the NFL is upon us, and the questions surrounding the Birds' play calling and quarterback play remain. Even with their 3-5-1 record, the Birds remain atop the NFC East with 7 games left. Is this still the Birds' division to lose? We're talking Eagles football, and this is the Ron Jaworski Show. Now here's your host, Ron Jaworski.
Good evening, everyone. Got a nice crowd on hand here at 7 Tap Tavern, the Ramblewood Country Club. Of course, we're all social distancing, playing by the rules. No messing around out there, folks. We want to do things the right way, keep everybody healthy. But so great to have you all with us tonight. And, of course, this show is always sponsored by my good friends over at Bradford White Water Heaters. Special thanks to Carl Pinto and all the fine folks at Bradford White Water Heaters. And they are built to be the very best. And, of course, we got our holiday Miller Lights out in front of us, Baldy. We're all good.
Yes, we do.
All our guests have their Miller Lights, and it looks that way anyway. So thanks to all the guys at Miller Lite, Mark Kramer, Brendan Dalton, and Kramer Beverage. They do a great job of supporting this show throughout the years. We are very, very thankful for them. And, boy, do we have a lot to talk about tonight. Brian Baldinger. Man, it's good to have you, and you were in Cleveland last week. Nice calm day in Cleveland on Lake Erie last week. So
yeah.
You can give us a little bit of insight to the Cleveland Browns. And, of course, we got the cuz, Anthony Gargano, on the line. This is our meat locker presentation.
Yeah.
This is what we do. It's just a meat locker. Everyone's out of
We don't need a script.
We got no script. Throw all the notes away.
Yeah.
Get rid of everything. We're going to have some
Get all
fun.
the play sheets. Get them out of here.
Get them out of here. Roll the ball out and we'll do Vince Papale out in South Philly in the parking lot, man. That's how we're going to do this show. Anthony, are you with us, my friend? There we go. Hey, we wish you were with us personally, but I know you're on the line. You know, in this COVID era, we all got to be careful. So we understand. We get it. So hey,
I don't want to infect anyone. All right? I love you guys.
no, you've infected too many people already, Anthony.
It's just good hearing your voice, cuz.
Oh man,
real
you make
cuz.
the show. The meat locker is back. All right, now you know. I'm sitting out here before the show. I'm thinking, you know, with this group, the only thing I got to do is roll the ball out there and we can play. But I said,
much.
I'm going to ask you guys to take a side. This Eagle team is 3-5-1, but in first place. Baldy, is this a first-place football team that could run the table the rest of the season, or is this a bad 3-5-1 team?
It's a bad 3-5-1 team. You know, because records really don't matter right now. I mean, look at the Minnesota Vikings right now and how they're playing. Look at how the Giants took the Eagles apart last Sunday. Look how teams are playing versus the records. I know Bill Parcells said you are what you record, all that kind of stuff, but this is about how you're playing. And the Eagles are a mess. I mean, they can't get the snap right. You know, it starts with the snap, Jaws. I mean, they couldn't get the ball back to the quarterback. You can't convert a third down. I mean, in every phase of the game, they look like a bad team. You don't need stats. You don't need PFF here. I mean, the eye test.
The eyeball test, right?
The eyeball test. And I know Cuz is right with me on this one here. And so then it's like, okay, 3-5-1, first place, whoop, you know, big whoop. But what are you going to do to fix all the things that are broken?
Yes.
Give us the pulse, Cuz. Give us the pulse of the city.
I mean, I think that's the biggest worry, guys. And obviously, you know, we know the biggest problem is Carson. And so I go to you guys and, look, I mean, it's tough. You know, he's not playing good right now. All these breakdowns, they tell the story. My question is, guys, we know that he's a guy that needs to be out of the pocket. Yet they only ran 2 plays out of the pocket. Both worked, by the way. Is there any kind of happy medium? Can you fix him with the pocket and move him a little bit, guys?
Jaws, give Cuz your game plan. You told me 2 minutes before we went on the air.
Stretch run right, stretch run left, boot backside. That's what you got to do this week. And, of course, know where Myles Garrett is. Yeah. It's not a game plan that is easy. That is not – it's an easy game plan to produce. Mm-hmm. It really is. What I'm having a difficult time understanding, and I know we got Deuce over there handling the formations and handling the substitution, but when you look at the personnel, I look for a rhyme or a reason why certain personnel's on the field. And Baldy, like you know, we hang out, we study the tape. I have a hard time figuring out. You know, I'm not a coach. You're not a coach, but we've been around this game for a long, long time. Yeah. And you know, you look at Corey Clement. He gets one play, scores a touchdown. Yeah. Boston Scott goes for a long touchdown run. He never gets back on the field. I don't know how they put together their personnel packages to influence the defense.
It seems like they're grabbing at straws, Joe.
Well, you know, I hate to say, you know, but a hat with plays in it and they pick a play, but I've always been around coaches through my 17-year career, you know, the Vermeils, the Shulas, the Schottenheimers, the Buddy Ryans. There had to be and there is a plan. I don't want to throw a coach under the bus because I have unbelievable respect for Doug, his coaching staff, and what they do as a profession. They're good. This group won the Super Bowl. So I don't mean to be like, I may sound negative, but I have ultimate respect for it because there are certain things I would do. And I just don't understand some of the substitution that they do. I just don't get it.
Well, they had a hard time sustaining offense, Jaws. I mean, they got back into the game.
0 for 9, Baldy? 0 for 9? This may be the worst third down offense in the National Football League. The worst. You can't go 0 for 9.
No, you can't.
Baldy, so you can see it. I know we're not on television. See those things?
Yeah.
Those are dollar signs.
I know. It's the money down. It's the money down, Jaws. But, Jaws, tell me, nobody plays more zone defense in the NFL than the Giants. I mean, I got it right here, Jaws. I mean, you've got it. You know, Coffey's giving us all these printouts. More zone than any team, even more than the Panthers. So on 3rd and 10, do you really want to go to Travis Fulgham on a go route down the sideline? It's a low percentage throw. I mean, where's the comeback? Where are some of these things?
Yeah.
You know, where you don't need a home run there, you need a first down. Yep. And so, look, you trip coming off of, on 3rd and 1, you take a sack. 3rd and 3, a switch route, like you're late with the ball, you don't run a proper switch route, ball's incomplete. I mean, you kick a field goal in the opening drive. I mean, you go through all of them. Give me the high percentage throw on 3rd and 10. If you got to max protect. But, like, Travis Fulgham is their star player right now. And if you only throw to him really 3 times in a game, and the first time you throw it to him, it's just a speed out. Carson throws the ball better to him than anybody else on that team. For whatever reason, he has unbelievable confidence in him. And he looks like Carson of 2017 when he throws to him, Jaws.
Yeah, that is a negative on all the other receivers in Baldy, because if this is a guy that showed up like week 1 in September,
I know,
and all of a sudden he's your go-to guy, there's something wrong. But the problem this Eagle team has, now we're going to focus, I just did, on the money down.
Yeah.
0 for 9 on third down.
Uh-huh.
It's first and second down that are killing this team. You're getting it. They are.
Yeah.
Their third down is like the third worst in the NFL as yards to go.
Right.
So it's like 7.5 is the average on third down. Hello, if you're in 3rd and 7 or more against the Cleveland Browns, you're going to see Myles Garrett wreck this game plan. Mm-hmm. You better run the ball early. Maybe I'm old school, and I am. I believe you have to have a running game. You have to have balance. You have to have equilibrium. This team throws the ball at an alarming pace with a bunch of guys that, what happened to all these speed guys we drafted? And can they make a play down there? Can Rager and Hightower make a play?
You're right. And think about it, though, Jaws. The Giants are playing, they play what? 2 deep safeties, right? You know what they play. You know you can run on them. You know it. And I just don't understand why they didn't run the ball early against the 2 deep safety zone. I mean, it's begging for it.
They ran it at times because, on their last 5 runs, they gained a total of 2 yards. So, like, their guards played horrible in the game. Matt played awful in that game. And, look, Jason Kelsey is going to struggle against Dexter Lawrence and Dalvin Tomlinson. That's going to be the game each year where he's going to have bad snaps and he's going to get manhandled because physically he can't play against those guys. That's the strength of their team. But you've got to figure out a way to still get him out. On that Boston Scott touchdown, like, where's Kelsey? He's 20 yards down the field picking a linebacker off.
That's what he does.
So put him in that position to be successful. Either, angle block down to get him out. That's where he's at his best. I mean, you got to put everybody.
But before those 5 plays, Sanders was averaging 6.1 yards a carry with a long of 14. He looked like he was close to breaking 1 too.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, they had some success. But Doug is one of those guys, cuz, that if you run the ball on first down and you gain a yard, he's not coming back on 2nd and 9 with the run.
You know what their average was on third down against the Giants? Third down and 8.8 yards to go.
Yeah.
I mean, you are play.
But Jones, they missed on 3rd and 3, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 1. I mean, they missed on the short ones too.
Yeah, they missed. Yeah, you get a little snap on third down. You get a bad hand. I mean, it was a comedy of errors in that game. I mean, I'm more upset we lose to the Giants. They're getting better, but the talent level on the New York Giants is not even close to the talent level on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, but I'll say this. But that might be true, Jaws. But they're playing a lot better.
I said
they're physically playing a lot better. They're playing better as a team. Now, here's one thing you just said, Jaws.
He's a good coach. I agree. Time will tell how good. But the one thing, and Cuz Baldy and I were talking before he came on the air, I called the Giants-Tampa Bay game a couple weeks ago, so I spent a lot of time studying both teams and looking at tape and kind of drilling down when you have to call a game.
Yeah.
And I thought, looking at the Giants' defense, I thought Jabril Peppers showed everything. When you look at 4 games on the team, well, I'm looking, wherever 21 is, he's telling me what the coverage is, what the blitz is. It's going to be zone, it's going to be man, it's going to be 2 deep, single line. He told me everything. Why couldn't Carson Wentz see when Jabril Peppers near the line, the blitz is coming, and you're getting and audible to not a kill of 1 or 2 plays, but let's audible to a maximum protection.
Get the best play out there.
And give your wide receivers time to work down the field. Load up the blocking. Yeah. Give 2 receivers a chance to beat somebody rather than throwing a bubble screen.
Second, cousin Jaws. I'm listening to you, Jaws, and I'm really listening. And you're worked up, and you're ticked off. Why is it that when I hear anybody talk out of NovaCare, nobody seems upset? Nobody seems worked up. I mean, I know it's the media. You got to do what you got to do. But I don't hear anybody pissed off. I hear analytics. I hear numbers. I hear Schwartzy saying, well, we got to fit the run. We got to do this. I mean, I just don't hear anybody just ticked off about their performance.
And Carson, too. Carson's got to be, listen, but there's sometimes the quarterback
sets the tone.
Jaws has, yes. I want to see him angry. I want to see him upset. And what happened? You know, you guys both talked. I mean, two guys that understand the fun of the game from a tape standpoint. You guys know the intricacies of this game, and you guys both agreed how good he was at recognizing coverage, at understanding the game. What happened to it?
I wish I had an answer, and maybe to expound on Baldy's comment, I don't think a coach needs to come to a press conference and rip people. I don't think a quarterback needs to, post-game say anything. The loose lips sink ships. We saw that with Chip Kelly throwing guys under the bus. When you lose that locker room, you lose a football team. So, I think what we're seeing at these press conferences where, we all hated them as players, because, now that we're part of the media ball thing.
Yeah.
Now we got to ask those stupid questions, right? But I just can't believe Doug Peterson, Jim Schwartz, Phipp, these guys are walking them going, hey, good effort, guys. I bet if you mic someone up in that locker room, there would be an explosion. Because the performance of this team, and I mentioned the defense, the Giants, on their first two possessions, are like a hot knife through butter against this overpaid defense, if you would say that.
They went 150 yards. They just went
boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom.
Right down the field. I'm going, wait a minute, we got the second highest payroll in the NFL. We got the highest paid defensive line in the NFL. We got a bunch of nobodies gutting this defensive line.
They played, Jaws, there were times when the Giants had three rookies out there on the field, on the offensive line. Three rookies against Fletcher and Brandon Graham. I mean, that left tackle for the Giants, to me, is like that to me, I would be lining up every down to go up against that guy, just to ruin him. And I would like, if I was the left tackle, I'd go, I'm going to play right end. Give me right end. Get out of here. I'm going to go play right end. I'm going to go beat his ass. But I mean, they won the line of scrimmage. 4th and 2. 4th and 2, they run right up the gut on him. Fourth and 2, they just challenged you.
Look at the goal line plays. Where was our defensive line?
That's what I'm saying, Jaws. 4th and 2. The Giants said, we can beat this team at 4th and 2. That's a down where you just go, okay, forget the script. Who's better? I mean, that's all that is. Wayne Gallman going in there like it's Clemson against Duke.
Who?
Exactly.
Wayne Gallman. Yeah. Alfred Morris has been cut by everybody. I was like, I mean, it's not like they got Saquon Barkley. You can see a guy making people miss.
Right.
Yeah. These are guys that have done nothing in their
Joe, there was a time, and Cuz knows this, but like when Big Red was here, they never lost after a bye. That team was always razor sharp. No matter if Donovan was struggling, the team, they come out of the bye, and you saw a team that was refocused and ready to play. Every year they won.
Well, I've always believed after the bye, number one, you come back fresh. You come back healthy. You guys can
bounce
recover.
in the step.
And then you also have the time to review the games before the bye week from an offensive and defensive special teams perspective. So coaches break those tapes down. These coaches are working 20 hours a week. Players come back in. Okay, here's what we did wrong. Now we're going to make the corrections because now you have time to do that. And for the Eagles to put that performance on after a bye week, to me, it's just unacceptable. And I'm defensive of the players, defensive of the coaches. But how can you put that on film? Baldy, you looked at the tape. I looked at the tape. That's not something you want to put in your resume because the coaching footage is your resume as a player and as a coaching staff. And that was unacceptable against the New York Giants after a bye week with all that time to prepare.
How does Daniel Jones, who's their leading rusher on that team, okay, and had already run for an 80-yard run, it would have been 92 2 weeks prior to that if he didn't trip over the line, right, and become the butt joke in New York. How do you let him go 34 yards on the first read option that he runs?
I don't know. It's like they never saw an RPO.
Because I mean,
Reed, yep.
I don't, look, I've never played free safety, but like the one thing at free safety I know is you go slow till you know. Like you always have time. Rodney McLeod he's in the line of scrimmage when Daniel Jones is running by him. Like his eyes are all wrong. Like this is what this guy does.
Baldy, it was the same play. They flipped it. It
Yes,
was the right
exact
formation.
same play.
They flipped to a left. It was the same play. I mean, where's the identification? You had time. Yeah. Here's what the Giants do. They're going to run.
Well, where was the push in that game? I got to tell you, I was really disappointed. You had penalties, right? Offsides. They did not control. They did not control the line of scrimmage. Listen, you guys know better than anybody. You're playing on Sunday. I mean, that was outrageous.
Daniel Jones he is a turnover machine. Since he's been in this league last year, he's been a turnover machine. He doesn't come close to throwing an interception. I mean, to me,
you started talking about, Carson. Everyone, of course, you're the quarterback. You're going to get too much credit when things go well and too much blame when things aren't going well. Carson's taking the heat right now. By the way, I think he'll respond to it, and I hope I'm right. I think he's got the character and the backbone to work through this. And he's not been great. Hey, I'll take good right now. But I think Carson will work through it. But he's going to need some help. But if you look at your quarterback, say he's struggling, what's the constant of this team? The defensive line. And it's not been good.
No.
If you want this defensive line to go out and dominate, here's what I totally agree with Howie Roseman on this. Baldy, and you may agree or disagree. In the NFL, I'm a believer you win in the trenches. The quarterbacks get all the money, running backs. Hey, I know I could have had success if it wasn't for guys like you, Baldy, giving me time to throw the football, leading the way on the run game. So and the Eagles, and I agree with Howie on that. But
That's
these
how
guys
they won a Super Bowl in 2017.
What's that, Cuz?
Yeah, of course. Yes. Yeah, they were
Oh,
great
yeah.
in the trenches.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I agree with that philosophy. But if you're going to invest your money, if that's in the trenches, they got to perform. And the defensive line did not perform last week. And they're the ones that have to wear the hat this week against Cleveland. And we'll get to Cleveland after the break. But you know what Cleveland's going to do? It's a double chin strap game.
Well, I mean, Bill Callahan's the offensive line coach.
Yeah,
he might as well be the head coach.
Double chin strap game. You know what that means? You better put on a double chin strap because it's not going to be a finesse game.
No.
And if you're not ready to come out and play football old school way, you're going to lose the Cleveland
Well,
Browns.
I'll tell you what. I mean, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, you better wrap up and tackle now.
And, I'll just throw in that Myles Garrett guy. He's on, what's he got, 9.5 sacks? Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I don't want to line up against that guy too often. All right, that'll do it for the first segment here on the Ron Jaworski Show. It is the Meat Locker Show. Brian Baldinger, the Cuz, we got him. We'll talk to you in a few minutes.
This is Ron Jaworski. I want to invite everyone to rediscover the excellence and diversity of my 6 championship golf courses. You know what first attracted me to the game of golf? It's the precision it requires at every level. At Ron Jaworski Golf, everything we do centers around you. It's the small touches that make golf so special. That's what drew me in years ago and forever shapes the way I feel about the game. Come enjoy our amazing signature golf courses or go to ronjaworskigolf.com.
Your wedding might look a little different than you first imagined, but that doesn't mean it can't be the most memorable day of your life. At Ron Jaworski Weddings, our 5 award-winning wedding venues are open, and we're meeting with couples daily, both in person by appointment or virtually with tours and video conferences. Voted the best of the knot and Wedding Wire 11 years in a row. See all we can do to make your day special at ronjaworskiweddings.com.
This is Ron Jaworski. I want to invite everyone to rediscover the excellence and diversity of my 6 championship golf courses. You know what first attracted me to the game of golf? It's the precision it requires at every level. At Ron Jaworski Golf, everything we do centers around you. It's the small touches that make golf so special. That's what drew me in years ago and forever shapes the way I feel about the game. Come enjoy our amazing signature golf courses or go to ronjaworskigolf.com.
Your wedding might look a little different than you first imagined, but that doesn't mean it can't be the most memorable day of your life. At Ron Jaworski Weddings, our 5 award-winning wedding venues are open, and we're meeting with couples daily, both in person by appointment or virtually with tours and video conferences. Voted the best of the knot and Wedding Wire 11 years in a row. See all we can do to make your day special at ronjaworskiweddings.com.
Show on 97.5, The Fanatic.
Welcome back. The Ron Jaworski Show coming to you live. We got some folks in here. Social distancing, of course.
Yes.
At 7 Tap
Mask
Tavern.
on.
That's
Yep.
right. We take care of it at the Ramblewood Country Club. Oh, man. What a crew we got. We got the Cuz. Oh, he's hanging on. He got a lot to say. Brian Baldinger. Oh, it doesn't get any better than that. This is the meat locker if there ever was
How many
one.
shows did we do here, Jaws? A couple of years ago. Cuz, how many did we do? We did them every week for 6 months, 8 months.
Yeah, it was the greatest.
We
Nothing better.
than the meat locker. Because what we say.
Tap Tavern, man. I love it.
Remember we say, hey, we got Doug Marone on. We got head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're gonna go a half hour. We go 2 hours.
Punch him in the mouth.
How many Miller Lights did we drink, the 3 of us, over those 6 months?
Yeah.
A lot. Leave it at that.
Jaws emptied the bin.
Oh, why blame it on me, Baldy? You got one in your hand, too.
Yes, I do.
All right, you're listening to the Ron Jaworski Show, and we're going to break down now. How about this, Baldy? Let's move on to the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
I got to pause before I say this. The Cleveland Browns are favored against our Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, well.
How crazy. Just think of that. The Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, well, it's about how you're playing, Jaws. And I've actually seen, so the Cleveland Browns played the Raiders 3 weeks ago. Then they had a bye, and then they played the Texans last week, okay? So I did the game 3 weeks ago there in Cleveland against the Raiders.
Another beautiful day in Cleveland.
Jaws, it was 50-mile-an-hour gust. I saw a kick. I saw a kick that went towards the goal post, and then it ended up going back over the kicker's head. Like it caught a gust.
I think we've seen that play on every highlight of that game.
Yeah. And then last week, I thought they delayed the start of the game. So immediately I thought there was lightning because the weather got weird. It was sunny outside, and all of a sudden it just got strange. And then they took all the players and all the fans out of the stadium off the field. So normally you think it's lightning. They just said the weather was too bad to play football in. I've never heard that before.
Played football in a hurricane.
Because it's like saying we're not going to play like any stickball down there, at 7th and Christian. We're not playing. The weather's too bad. Like they wouldn't go for that in South Philly.
Let's delay the game. This is a baseball.
They delayed the game, Jaws, 30 minutes.
Bunch of whining crybabies that play baseball.
I don't know
What's
what they
going
did.
on?
Like the fans didn't want to. Like Baker had his jacket on. He was hiding. He didn't want to leave. They made him leave the field.
So then the people that look at stats go, well, Baker Mayfield didn't play very well, didn't throw very well. It's 50-mile-an-hour winds, the rain coming sideways, the ball's as slick as it could get. Say, oh, he had a bad game. Well,
So, Jaws, I was
by the way,
staying.
should we check the forecast for Sunday before?
Yeah, it doesn't do me any good. It doesn't. It's going to see it and everything. But I was staying in the same hotel on Saturday night as the Browns. So I saw a bunch of the coaches. I saw Stump Mitchell and a bunch of guys that were in there. But Bill Callahan's the offensive line coach in Cleveland. And anywhere, like starting with Bill started his career with Ray Rhodes here in Philadelphia. They went to the playoffs 2 years in a row. And, John Gruden was here. Like, there's a great chemistry there. Anywhere Bill Callahan goes, just mark his history. Whether it was the Eagles, the Raiders, the Redskins, the Cowboys, and now the Browns, you're going to get a good running game. And then if you combine that with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, I mean, we're talking about like contact backs. And you watch guys like big guy, linebackers, run full speed into these guys. They bounce off them. They have unbelievable balance. They have a very good offense. Rookie, Jedrick Wills. Like, it is a good group. And the tight ends block.
First round draft choice, left tackle. They knew, Stefanski knew.
This is a great test because what the Eagles need more than anything right now is not just a win, but a quality win. Not a win against the Cowboys with Ben DiNucci. They need to go on the road and beat a quality football team. And the one thing that Cleveland has that the Eagles are struggling to find, and there's time, is they have an identity. And every year is a new year. You got to figure out what you want to be. And Cleveland has figured it out. And so it's not about Baker and, Odell's gone and, he was a part of the whole thing. But it is about these two backs, this line, and how they win the line of scrimmage. And so the Eagles, if they figured out a way to win this game, they're going to beat a good quality football team. You can get on that plane, come home, and feel good about yourself the fourth win. And it could be one of those springboard games.
Well, they need a quality win because they've got 5 quality teams they're playing in the next 5 weeks. And Baldy, you mentioned, the physicality of the Cleveland Browns. Solid offensive line. Their backs.
They played those RPOs from the Giants and all those. And I look at this and I go, I don't know. We talk about linebackers all the time. It would be nice to have one of those pit bulls in the middle of that defense right now.
They paid Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox a lot of money to go just clog the middle and penetrate. And the Cleveland Browns, they rely on 2 tight ends, Austin Hooper and Harrison Bryant, to block the edge. If I'm Brandon Graham, if I'm Josh Sweat, pick a defensive end, Vinny Curry, the last thing I'm going to do is get blocked by one of those tight ends. I saw Evan Ingram block Brandon Graham last week. Evan Ingram couldn't block his shadow 4 weeks ago. It was embarrassing. I was ripping the Giants, going, "How do you put this guy on an end? He can't block himself." If I'm Brandon Graham, I'm one of these guys, and Harrison Bryant out of Florida Atlantic, a rookie, blocks me. Shame on you. You got to physically whip him and knock him 3 yards in the backfield as soon as he tries to move on you.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those attitude games. And because you get a feel for these kind of games, being out there amongst the people, doing your show every week, hearing the people, this is not going to be one of those fancy games. I think people in Philadelphia want to start seeing some physical football from this Eagles football team. There's too much chirping going on right now. Everyone's starting to chirp, talk. The media's chirping, trying to stir some fire up, always. Hey, that's what when you lose, that's what happens. Get used to it. You better expect this media's going to look for reasons why. Hey, you know what? That's their job. Ask tough questions. So, Doug, the coaching staff, they better be prepared for it because people want heads. They want heads when things aren't going well in this time and try to figure out the reasons why. But this performance at 3-5-1, hey, you know what? I could easily say, it's great, we're in first place. And you know what? You can buy into that. But the next 5 weeks, we're going to find out.
For the last 4 straight weeks in a row, okay, Giants, Cowboys, Giants, Cleveland, you're going up against organizations with brand-new coaching staffs. And you can't, you've got continuity here. Everybody talked about it during this whole COVID lockout, the whole offseason. The Eagles are going to have an advantage. They know who they are. They're not trying to figure out this new offense. They're not trying to figure out what the coaches and how the operations go. The Eagles have had this advantage, and they haven't shown that advantage.
Man, I could not agree with you more. Some of the early shows we talked about this Eagle coaching staff, when you looked at the NFC East with Mike McCarthy and Ron Rivera and Joe Judge, we got a huge advantage. We got a solid coaching staff. We got a coach that's won a Super Bowl. We got an assistant coaching staff that's been together for a long time. Exactly. They know their players. None of that has come to fruition. In fact, I'm starting to get a little nervous that it may not.
Yes. Yeah. Well, there's always time. But Kevin Stefanski, it's a brand-new staff. It's a new way of doing things all the way around. No offseason, Zoom meetings, all that nonsense. And they have put it together. They got a rookie out there at left tackle, no offseason, and he's playing good football. How? Why? It's coaching, it's kicked in.
It goes back, but it also goes back to what you said, Baldy, which is we're going to have an identity, right? And the offensive identity will match what the defense is, right? Mm-hmm. Because both units have to play off each other. And you look at last week too. special teams was awful last week as well. What is their identity on both sides of the ball, and how come it's not married?
You think about it. Dave Phipp historically has been one of the best special
teams. He's been the special teams coach of the year before.
He's been a fantastic. What the heck are they doing back there? Jalen Reagor for the draft. I mean, everyone I spoke to, this guy is a dynamic punt return.
He had some good days. He had some good days at TCU.
In space, he's the guy you want back there. Other scouts around the league told me Eagles got a great player in Jalen Reagor. Maybe not as a wide receiver. He'll grow into that. But as a return man, I haven't seen it yet.
I know.
Is it a comfort level? Or maybe the guy's not ready? I don't know. But you draft a guy, expect explosive plays. He's been hurt. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But the explosive plays have not happened.
So if you looked at the Monday night game and you saw the Minnesota Vikings beat the Chicago Bears, the Vikings they drafted 15 players, and 8 of them are making a maximum contribution. I mean, Justin Jefferson leads all rookie receivers.
I don't even want to say that name.
Okay. I mean, I was pissed when they passed on him. The Vikings
don't want to say that name.
The Vikings called me the day after the first round and going, what do the Eagles not know
It
about
took the
Justin
Vikings
Jefferson?
about 3 seconds.
They ran that card. Spielman ran that card up there so fast, Jaws.
The Eagles
he thought the Eagles might change their mind.
Yeah.
But, you look at Justin Jefferson.
There was audio that came out of their war room today. We played it on the show.
What was it?
In fact, Dylan, it's audio from the Vikings war room. And Dylan's back at the station. I need Dylan to find it because it's 10 seconds. It starts with Jalen Reagor goes to the Eagles.
Yeah.
They go, what? And they start laughing. And they go, get Jefferson on the phone.
Because
from the Vikings war room.
But it's true. I mean, I got a call the next day from the Vikings. I'm not going to say who, but from what were the Eagles thinking?
No, I remember you said that.
And so, but if you look at so my point is this: the Vikings have now won 3 in a row. They found their identity.
Yep.
Dalvin Cook is he's just Dalvin
He's
Cook.
healthy. He's healthy.
He's special. But the right.
Don't mention that name, Baldy.
But they've got a rookie right guard in Cleveland. He's made a difference. Jeff Gladden, he's making plays. DJ Wanham, 4th-round pick out of South Carolina. You go through, they had 8 rookies make a major contribution the other night. Tell me a rookie from the Eagles that's making a contribution. At some point, you need that enthusiasm. You need that injection. You need that first-round talent to step in and elevate your team.
See, this is a conversation we're going to have in the offseason and going forward. The draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the time yet, but you're talking about other teams that have built their teams through the draft. The Eagles are obviously regressing. You're not getting this is still an old football team.
Mm-hmm.
It's still last year was I believe the second oldest team in the NFL.
They invested in a lot of
the
players.
Patriots were the oldest. I'm not sure where they are this year, but I know it's an old football team. It's near the bottom as far as age goes, so that's got to be addressed. And you don't see the young players coming in and making plays. And the other thing that bothers me about this team right now, and it's got to be corrected quickly, plays. I mean, we've been hearing 11 penalties, last
Pre-snap penalties, Jaws.
How's a wide receiver jump offside? We had 2 illegal procedure penalties by a wide receiver.
Jaws, all they do is look at the ball.
That's all you do is look at the ball. How do you have defensive linemen jumping offside? I don't know. You watch the ball, and yet teams jump offside. It's not just the Eagles.
But Jaws,
it's a
that is a player, and that's a team that is not locked in the way you have to be locked in these games. It just comes down to that.
Yeah.
I was up at the Giants. I'm not saying the Giants are doing everything right, but I was up at the Giants, and if you during the offseason and training camp, and I mean it's old school and it's kind of dumb, but if you did that in preseason with the Giants, you took a lap. Now, we used to do that in Dallas when I was there under Landry. And
everybody did that, Baldy.
But
Every
Jaws,
team had that.
I hated running. I never jumped off sides in practice. And I swear, to run a lap for me in full uniform in that Texas heat, it was like running a marathon.
So that's why you were always late off the ball, huh?
I'd rather be late than run a lap, Jaws. But I didn't jump. In my entire career, I jumped off sides one time. You actually train yourself. Look, Warren Sapp used to tell me about defensive line play. Warren Sapp in his career never jumped off sides as a defensive tackle.
Wow, yeah.
Never. So when he sees it from a defensive lineman, it drives him nuts. 12-year career, a Hall of Fame career, never jumped off sides. It's just the way that you train your mind and the way that you prepare and how you lock yourself in.
It's about the mental aspect.
The mental
of the,
aspect.
The mental, and that's we know football's physical. You're not at this level unless you're a talented, physically player. But you can't be a dumb player. You can't jump offside. You can't have dumb penalties. You can't hit people in the back. Those are the penalties that kill you. They flip field position. They set you back and put you in those 3rd and 8.8 yards per attempt.
The whole game is a game of fundamentals and techniques. That's your toolbox at every position. Doug's talking about 3rd and 3. Travis Fulgham and Jalen Reagor ran a bad switch route. Well, we watch how Pittsburgh runs their switch routes. Great. But, like, if you're not running it right, why aren't you running it right? Like, what hasn't been done in practice? You got a new wide receiver coach. You got a new offense coordinator. Why isn't it being done right? Like, what is it about it that you didn't run it correctly? And your quarterback was hung out to dry, supposedly.
But Baldy, I got to believe when Doug looks at that tape and sees that it wasn't executed the proper way, I mean, he's got to chew some butt out.
But I don't doubt it, Charles. But still, it's one thing to chew it out on Monday or Sunday night or whatever it is.
Well, you got to teach it.
But if it's not being done, if it's not being done in the game, why isn't it being done in the game? Why is it taking till Monday to fix it in week 10?
Why does the quarterback have so many bad habits right now? Under DiFilippo, who was coaching him hard, and he didn't like it. He didn't make those mistakes. His technique was flawless.
Well, if you don't accept coaching at this level, you shouldn't be at this level. I've always used, and I hate to bring myself into this discussion. I mean,
17 years, Charles. I hope you can.
There were a lot of times, Dick Vermeil, Don Shula, guys. I'd have to go up in that office, and from wall to wall, I got chewed out.
Yeah.
But you know what? When they would go out to the media, I was their guy.
Yeah.
I was their guy. I don't know how Carson's being treated. You hear so many different. I just can't believe Carson's not being coached hard. No matter what stories get out there, I know the guy is talented. We saw what he could do, in his rookie year. We know what talent he has. He's not performing up to that right now. But I don't know the reason why, but I know he's got talent to perform at a much higher level. Now, the coach has got to get it out of him.
But, Jaws, he's got accuracy issues right now. And the accuracy issues can be traced to poor footwork and poor technique. You see it.
Yep.
So, at some point, it's now his 5th year. Okay, now there's been the injuries and all that, but it's his 5th year. At some point, you are going to be what you are. And either you're going to take the step up or you're not. We've seen these rookie quarterbacks come in and play very well, very early on. I always think accuracy is just either Ben Roethlisberger could take the week off and be in a Zoom call on his couch and go out and be accurate on Sundays, Jaws. It's like he's always been accurate.
I think he did that last week.
He did. I'm having fun with it. But, I mean, he didn't practice. He didn't even go to the facility. Yeah. And he threw for 330 yards to a bunch of young kids. But the technique of how to throw a football has never been a problem for Ben. Never. He's never gone through a dip where you go, he couldn't throw the ball. He might have had some interceptions in some games and second-guessed himself. But you never said he can't throw it. Well, he needs mechanics.
And I agree with you, Baldy. Interceptions come from bad decisions, not necessarily bad throws. Although Carson had some inaccurate throws this year.
Yeah.
But I go back to this Eagle offense, and it still bothers me that they don't run the football enough. It's a good offense line. Maybe there's some weaknesses right now at the guard positions, but this is still a good offensive line. You get Salomalo back. You make the adjustment you need to make. But you can't abandon the running game when you got a quarterback that is struggling right now. And the quarterback's best friend, I say 1,000,000 times, I'll say it 10 million times, is a running game. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden the play action, the bootlegs, the open intermediate areas of the defense become so big. You could complete the passes, Baldy. And I think this team has missed that equilibrium. They're running the ball well. They're not running the ball enough.
Well, they've been sporadic, Jaws. Sporadic at running it. I wouldn't say it's a consistent running game by any stretch. There's too many negative runs that put you behind the chains. And then you get to third. I mean, you got them all down there, Jaws.
Yep.
I mean, 6 of the 9 third downs were 3rd and 10 or more. So now on 3rd and 10, you're not using play action. I mean, you're in a shotgun, and you're dropping back, and you're going 3-man side, 2-man side. What's the defense tell me to do? I mean, all that pre-snap stuff that you're doing.
Hey, before we wrap this up, as usual on a Wednesday night, we make our predictions. So, Cuz, I'm going to go to you first. The Eagles go to Lake Erie, the Cleveland Browns. Who do you like in this game, Cuz?
I think they put it together. I don't think they're completely finished. So I'll expect a grinded-out, ugly win. I think the defense plays better. I'll go Eagles 24, Browns 23.
Woo, Baldy.
I don't see enough from this Eagles team. I just see. I don't think I just don't think it all comes together on one Sunday, Jaws. It'll be the best offensive line they put out there in a long time. That doesn't mean anything. I think that the Browns are too good at what they do right now. That, you know, if Baker throws them two, yes, they can win. But I just don't think they're going to get in that situation. I like the Browns in this game, Jaws. I mean, I like the way they're playing. I'll take them 20 to 16 in this game.
All right, Baldy going for the Brownies. That's a shocker, but hey, you got.
I've seen them twice. I've seen their last two home games.
Hey, I don't always pick for the Eagles, but this one's going to be interesting, and I'm going to go Eagles on this one, 21-20.
Okay.
But they better show up. They played well against Pittsburgh. They played well against Baltimore.
Well, they played well once they were way behind, Jaws.
Yes, well, I agree. But they
didn't play well at all in the first half of those games.
And this is a litmus test. This is the season.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to go that must-win stuff, but man, they lose this one. All the doubt is creeping in. Right?
But Jaws, I mean, if you just
division, yes.
Yeah.
But Jaws, you just mentioned Pittsburgh, Baltimore, the tie against Cincinnati, the AFC North. Like there's no comparison between the AFC North and the NFC East right
I agree.
now. None.
But I think overall, I thought they played well in those games.
They played well when they were behind, Jaws. And they made them competitive. You know, and then they came down to 2-point conversions, whatever. But they didn't play well in the first half of those games, Jaws. I mean, that's why they were so far behind.
Well, guys, unfortunately, we have run out of time at the Meat Locker. But I can't thank Brian Baldinger. Oh, man, we got the Cuz out there. Cuz, thank you so much for joining us tonight. The Meat Locker is always fun. Thank you so much, and that'll do it for the Ron Jaworski Show. Here coming to you from 7 Tap Tavern at the Ramblewood Country Club. We'll see y'all next week on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Good night, everyone.